Welcome again. In this lesson is how to solve inequalities. So in order to solve inequalities, let's review what we learned in the past because we are about to solve two-step inequality in our next lesson. So if you don't remember how to solve inequalities, how are you going to do two-step inequalities? So in this one, solve for x and graph on the number line. Take what you know from equations, solving equations, to help you solve inequalities. It's pretty much almost the same thing. So what is the inverse? I need to isolate x. What's the inverse operation of multiply? Divide. So I need to divide both sides by -5. This cancels out because it becomes one whole. So it becomes 1x. So 20 divided by -5 is -4. Now, what do you remember? Will it stay as less than and equal to? X is less than or equal to -4? Or would it be x is greater than or equal to -4? Well, let's check. Let's do a test point in case you forgot. 0. What's -5 times 0? -5 times 0 is 0 less than or equal to 20? It is. So which one is true here? Is 0 less than -4 or 0 greater than -4? It is this one. Let's use 10. What's -5 times 10? That's -50. Is that less than or equal to 20? It is. Is 10 less than or equal to -4? No. But is 10 greater than or equal to -4? It is. So in case you forgot the rule, when you divide by a negative or multiply by a negative, you do the opposite sign. You reverse the sign around. Because do you see this negative right here? It says do the opposite of less than with greater than or equal to. So let's graph this. This is -4. This is -3. This is -5. Will this be an open dot or closed dot? It will be a closed dot because it says equal to this. So name some digits that are greater than -4, like -3, -2, -1, -0. So using my highlighter, I highlight the numbers that are greater than -4. So now that we kind of remember that, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be walking around the classroom and you're going to find signatures. You're going to find students who can answer each one of these questions. So let's talk about each question. Can you write an inequality to represent the statement? To get a driver license, the driver age D should be at least, should be at least 16. At least. Let's think about it. That means if you have to be at least 16, that means you could be 17 years old. You could be 18 years old, 19. 16 is the least age you can be. We don't want any small young kids driving a car. They're going to kill us. So it has to be, you can be 16 or equal to it, but you have to be greater. So D is greater or equal to 16. This means greater. Next one. Can you evaluate the following? Is 4 less than 5? Is that true or false? Well, that is true. 4 is less than 5. Will it remain true if you subtract 7 from both sides? What's 4 minus 7? If I have 4 and I go back 7, -3. What's 5 and I go back 7? Or 5 positive, 7 negative is -2. Is -2 on a number line? Here's 0, -1, -2, -3. Is -2 greater than -3? Yes, it's closer to 0. So, yes, it is. Next one. Can you write inequality to represent the statement? According to the forecast, the temperature T will not exceed 82. It cannot exceed, cannot be higher than 82 degrees. But it could be 82 degrees. It could be 81. It could be 80. So what can you tell me with these temperatures? They're equal to 82 or less than. Temperature is less than or equal to 82. Next one. Is 4 less than 5? That's true. Will it remain true if you multiply both sides by -7? 4 groups of -7 is -28. 5 groups of -7 is -35. Is -35, let's think about a number line. Here's a number line. Here's 0. Here's -28. Here's -35. Is negative 35 greater than negative 28? Is negative 28 less than? No, negative 28 is closer to 0, so it's greater. That is false. Why is this false? Because when you multiply by a negative number, let me highlight that. When you multiply by a negative number, such as this, it reverses the sign around. So it's saying, what's the opposite of less than? Greater than. Next one. Can you solve this? Let's solve it. I divide both sides. I have 12 negatives and 2 x's. I divide both sides by 2. What's the inverse of multiply? Divide by 2. This cancels. So what is negative 12 divided by 2? Negative 6. X is greater than negative 6. Number 6 now. Negative x or negative 1x is less than or equal to 5. So in this example, I need to divide both sides by negative 1. Because the inverse of multiply is divide. This cancels out because it's one whole. X and what's 5 divided by negative 1? Negative 5. So what do we remember about negatives when you're dividing or multiplying by negative? It reverses the sign around. This negative is saying, what is the opposite of less than? It is greater than or equal to. To check your work, name a number greater than 5, negative 5, or equal to negative 5. Let's do 10. So let's see if this is work. Let's substitute. Is negative 10 less than or equal to 5? It is true. If I had not reversed it around, the statement would have not been true. So the main thing I want you to know is this. When solving an inequality, when should the inequality sign symbol be reversed? It should be reversed when you are multiplying or dividing by a negative number. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, it reverses the sign to the opposite. So opposite of less than is greater than, opposite greater than is less than.